So apparently I am a featured resident within this video that is made by Puertorock, so I've been asked to react to it. Xbox fanboys are just dumb. I mean, how he can actually say this when Unleashed is out there, I actually don't know. In fact, there's quite a few of them out there on the PlayStation side that are suffering from some form of mental illness that I genuinely don't understand how he can attack anyone else when his whole backyard is full of raccoon issues. So let's see what he has to say. Let's go through it and see what is going on. I'm gonna mute the intro because it's stupid loud and he just shouts for no reason. So let this just go through and yeah. Okay, I think we should be good now.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. It's your only friend, these YouTube streets, Puertorock77, back with another video. And I think it's time I mentioned this in Twitter, but I think it's time I made a video about this. And here's the absolute facts, and this is the truth. The Xbox community contains the most amount of uninformed gamers in gaming by far.
He can't say that when Unleashed exists. Literally cannot say that. When Unleashed is out there, he cannot say that. You just can't. He literally cannot say that when Unleashed is out there. Sorry, Unleashed, but you are a special case.
Not saying that is exclusive to them, because sure, you have uninformed gamers within PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, of course. But the Xbox community, by far, have the lion's share of people who just don't know anything about gaming, or are just completely misinformed about gaming, what's going on or what's happening, mainly because you have so many Xbox content creators of various levels that spread so much nonsense and bullshit throughout the years that it is absolutely unbelievable. It is absolutely insane. And instead of them acknowledging the mistakes or the misunderstandings, they just double down. Take for this tweet.
I mean, he can't be talking about me, right? Because clearly I've actually been calling out Xbox since, since forever, right? I've actually had so many of you giving me shit for it, so clearly he's not talking about me here.
Tweet right here. I wrote, you guys really holding on to this silly idea that Microsoft still wants to compete in the console business. It's absolutely insane, because you already saw Phil Spencer himself saying you can't out-console PlayStation and Nintendo.
My God, my dude said one statement, and these guys, they can't actually let it go. What did he? I mean, the guy made one stupid statement, and he is out here. Look at him. I mean, just look at that face right there. And it's perfect, right? Anyway, let's continue.
You heard him himself saying that the worst generation that was lost was the Xbox One generation.
That is true. The Xbox One generation was the worst generation to lose, because that is when the backwards compatibility, the whole back catalog thing started. And then, of course, following that, COVID hit, which meant people couldn't really upgrade or buy, and then there were shortages of chips. So the previous generation is supported more. In fact, as we now know, 50% of PlayStation players that play Call of Duty, which is probably the biggest game on the platform, is still on PlayStation 4. Let that sink in for a second.
Right? You heard him saying that even if games or like Starfield are 11 out of 10, it's just not going to pull PlayStation gamers out of their console.
And Phil Spencer was 100% wrong in saying that. He was wrong. If you released 3 or 4 11 out of 10 games, perceptions will change. Things will change. He was 100% wrong there. And me, everyone else, including Destin, called him out and said, you are chatting shit. So the fact that he's now trying to say that we are coping and saying this isn't that is rubbish. Everyone knows that Phil Spencer was wrong when he said that. You release 3 or 4 bangers back off the back that actually get 90, 95% continuously, and you will change the image of Xbox games going forward. It's really that simple.
So he admitted that, hey, this is done. You heard the CFO of Xbox telling them they no longer consider PlayStation and Nintendo as competitors. Those days are over.
Actually, it was Phil Spencer that says he doesn't see PlayStation as a competitor. He sees the likes of Amazon and Google, the bigger brands, the global brands, the ones that are in the big league, rather than the small league as competitors, because they're the ones that go mainstream global with other aspects, not just the hardware.
And you heard the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella, the top dog, the one above all of them, telling you he doesn't like the idea of console exclusives. He doesn't like the idea of hardware strategy. And he said that they now have the capability to make games on consoles, Xbox and consoles.
So let me correct Puertorock yet again, because clearly my dude who's claiming that Xbox fans are so misinformed, he has been misinformed this entire video and we're only at 2 minutes. So let me actually re-educate my dude, because clearly the education system has failed him in more ways than one, and his hearing, compendium has serious deficiencies. So during the FTC trial, when Satya Nadella was on stage, he actually turned around and said he is not a fan of exclusives, because if you have your products everywhere, you make more money. It's really that simple. The more people that can buy, the more sales you get. It's a simple maths, right? The more customers, the more sales, or at least the more sales opportunities. But he also turned around and said that he understands why exclusives exist in the hardware business. He also isn't that familiar with the hardware business, and that is where Phil Spencer comes in. And that's why he's there to deal with this. But as his own personal self, he has no love for exclusives. And that is something that he has said. But the way Puertorock is labeling this is complete fabricated bullshit. Anyway, let's continue. Because I really hope this video isn't going to go with me just completely and utterly destroying him in everything he's saying, because so far he hasn't said anything really. I mean, maybe one thing correct. And we've all called out Phil Spencer for that one, because it was a dumb thing to say.
And you already seen they already launched 4 games on that. And now with the recent announcement, right, news that the new Doom is most likely multi-plat, it's already done, right?
Okay. It looks like this is going to be a really long video, folks, so apologies. The 4 games that went across, yes, there's that clip that says wherever Game Pass is, that's where you're going to find ZeniMax games. That was superseded later when he went for case by case, and then that was superseded by the FTC trial, when in the FTC trial, the FTC made him under oath with Judge Jacqueline actually kind of make a declaration that games case by case will be going over to PlayStation on a case by case. Also, legacy titles that they said would also be free game. New IPs are different, but legacy titles and games as a service would be free game. They even had a whole diagram showing this. So if Doom isn't a legacy title, then color me surprised. But if it is, my dude is again ill-informed and using this as a gotcha. Now, I'm pretty sure every Xbox fan out there wanted Doom to be exclusive. I personally had my doubts it would be exclusive because of, it's a pre-existing franchise. Now, you could say that for Hellblade too, but I presume Hellblade was too niche of a product. I'm assuming it will at some point be ported, but at the end of the day, when it comes to ZeniMax and ABK, anything that's a legacy title will likely appear. That's just what he said. He's never shied from that. That was always there. So let's see what else he's going to say.
So people still arguing, talking within Xbox about tagging Phil Spencer about exclusives, how important console sales, even though we have factual data that Xbox consoles have sold like shit this gen. This past quarter, they only sold 800,000 consoles.
That is pretty bad. 800,000 is showing that the demand for Xboxes is pretty low, and also the fact that their existence in Europe and the Far East is pretty abysmal. Now, obviously, in the US, they're not doing too bad. They've sold about 25 million consoles, which means that their ratio right now, as opposed to their 59 million, which does include PS Portals and the PSVR, I know they're going to try and deny it, but PlayStation came out themselves and said that they count those as consoles, so they can shut the fuck up. I really don't care. Up until January or February, they were counted as consoles. Once they went out of stock or no one wanted them, then they decided to change the metric. Fuck off. I don't care. They're chatting shit. So if we actually remove a couple of million from there, we're down to like maybe 57 million or whatever. Xbox is about 25 million. The ratio is roughly about 2.1, 2.2 to 1, maybe 2.3, depending on how you're looking at it. I'm just rough balling it. Now he's going to turn around and say 5 to 1 and show how illiterate, well, how maths has failed him once again. But let's see if he'll actually fall for that.
Over the past quarter, 800K in 3 months. To put this in perspective, that same quarter, PlayStation sold 4.5 million consoles in a quarter. 4.5 million during that quarter. Nintendo Switch, which is on its last legs, is year 7 for the Nintendo Switch. People are ready to move on to the Switch 2, and even that console was able to sell 1.6 million. You see how bad Xbox is? It's over.
But again, Xbox has no presence in Europe and in Far East. So obviously that's a problem for Xbox to solve, and they need to do better. And their marketing for Hellblade 2 was almost non-existent. I mean, I did see some. I personally worked on some of it. And it's surprising that I didn't even see the ones I worked on, put it that way. I did see some YouTube ads, but the bottom line is the push that they have, you don't need a console, is really starting to take effect. And their push for PC day one definitely has damaged part of it. But it's a bit disingenuous with what he's saying. He's not adding context, and context is important. The context here is that Microsoft has no presence in Europe and the Far East. So they're already losing 2 of their markets entirely and are only having the US. So if they did 500,000, or the same in Europe at 800K, and then another, let's say, 400 in the Far East, assuming that they actually had a mild presence, that would almost put them at 2 million. So you can see the difference here. But unfortunately, clearly here that there's no push for them to do anything this generation. It's almost like Microsoft has entirely written off the series consoles and are focusing on pushing the next gen consoles as their primary console, with the handheld and the at-home box with a potential Windows hybrid.
Already done. But of course, this is what I'm talking about. Enter Power Eagle. This guy's been chatting with me on my timeline, whatever, for years, talking that smack about Xbox. And he said, just remember, Sony's having the same internal discussions too. He acts like he knows what's going on. Let me show you the real dude, okay? Let me show you some receipts on this guy, all right? Let me show you receipts on this guy, all right? Where is it at? Here we go, okay? This was him in October 2023. Microsoft ended the console war with the purchase of Activision. The PlayStation fanboys should just buy an Xbox and save themselves some money with Game Pass. Okay? You know what's crazy? Look at the date. Let me go this way. The date right here. October 2023, when they acquired Activision. And he's not the only one. The entire Xbox community had that same philosophy. Now that the Activision Blizzard deal was done during that month, all those games, except for Call of Duty, but everything else was going to be exclusive to Xbox. That was the expectation. But here's the
that was not the expectation, because it was already announced that legacy titles like Diablo, Overwatch was going to be multi-plat. They've already announced this from a while ago during the FTC trial. So anyone that did say everything 100% was going to be exclusive was delusional in the first place. Microsoft during the FTC trial said this. I've got tons of videos that actually covered the FTC trial extensively, and I did cover it quite well, which is why I'm really knowledgeable with that trial, because I spent weeks and months covering it in very big detail. So this is wrong. This is factually wrong. And if, just because Fanboys decided to turn around and say that this is going to happen, I mean, it makes him a bigger fool for listening to what they're saying rather than listening to what's actually going on in the trial. I don't know. Make it make sense.
Crazy part. Because now we know that very month, games were already being ported to PlayStation. The decision to put games on PlayStation was done even before the FTC trials.
Actually, it was not. That was not. And he's chatting 100% shit there. He's making it up. And he is 100% lying. The decision to start porting some of those games, the 4 games in particular, over to PlayStation took place during the FTC trial when they made the decision for a case by case and to show goodwill, because Phil already said that he was not done buying, and if he wanted to have any chance of buying more publishers and more studios, he would need to show goodwill. And so work started on a number of those games already going through, with Sea of Thieves being the primary candidate to be the first one they started working on.
Did he know? So he didn't know that, but he knows what's going on PlayStation. When he made this...
My dude don't know shit, by the way. This dude, he don't know shit. Like, I've already called him out and he's trying to act like this Eagle don't know shit. He doesn't know shit either.
Tweet, Sea of Thieves was already 3/4 of the way complete, along with Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, Grounded. All those games was already greenlit to go to PlayStation. They were...
Once again, he has no clue what he's talking about. Hi-Fi Rush started sometime last year, but it was done during the FTC trial. Everything was started during the FTC trial, not before, like he's saying. It was during the FTC trial. And he's clearly here trying to lie and be disingenuous and trying to get a one-up. Man, this video is going to be real long because I'm stopping him at almost every turn here.
They already made the decision to be a third-party porting studio, and they're going to put their games on PlayStation. Nope. But he didn't know it. He made this tweet out there like, oh yeah, we're going to get all these exclusives. No, you're not. You get nothing. You get nothing. That's how clueless you are. So here you are in October 2023, not realizing on your own favorite brand that you lost your exclusives, that you're not getting these exclusives. Yet you want to come and talk about PlayStation? You want to talk about PlayStation? Really? Really? You're gonna tell me, just remember, Sony's having the same internal discussions too. Really? Come on. This is the nonsense that
I mean, Hiroki Totoki already said that they're having those internal discussions. Now, we won't see day and date now. But I do feel like in a year or two, we're going to start seeing some games being trialed for day and date. Personally, that's my opinion. But right now, they're doing it with the live service games and trialing it out to see how successful it is. And as we know with Helldivers 2, the PC community absolutely carried that game through and through in order to make it a monumental success. Because obviously, if it was just released on PlayStation, it would have died a long time ago.
That community bred. There is...
And we know this because the playing numbers on the game have actually tanked so hard, it's unbelievable after the whole PSN fiasco. After they pretty much disbarred like over half the world from playing on PC, those numbers that used to hit 300,000-400,000, pretty much server capacity, now they're not even hitting half the capacity or even a quarter of the capacity. That pretty much tells you how much the PC community was actually carrying that game.
Is a plethora of uninformed gamers that is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's because that community encouraged bullshit. This is why I must put this out there. Tim Dog is done with the bullshit, right?
Nah, Tim Dog was done because he shared bread with Phil Spencer, and because they didn't allow him to go into the boardroom, he felt deeply hurt by that. Because my dude decided that he was not going to be part of the boardroom meeting with Sacci, Nadella, Amy Heard, Phil Spencer. He actually thought he was big enough to that level that they were going to actually bring him into board level. My dude was well off his rocker from before if he thinks that was the relationship that he had with the dude. He gotta be don't bring Tim Dog into this. The fact that they're actually relying on Tim Dog right now to actually be like a shining shield of someone that's gone over. Don't forget, it wasn't that long ago that Tim Dog was literally on the opposite side saying everything that he was saying, but he got offended because they didn't invite him into a boardroom meeting where they made decisions or gave him a heads up. Who the fuck is he? I mean, no disrespect to you, Tim Dog, but who the fuck are you? You're just a random dude on the internet, just like me, just like anyone else. You're not special. You're not within Microsoft. They're not going to bring you into boardroom meetings. And I'm sorry that hurt your feelings, but your breakdown has been one for the ages. And I really hope there's like a Netflix documentary of it because it was quite special to see.
Tim Dog's right here, as you can see. Hold on. He says, he wanted to remind the community, the quote, Phil Spencer on Bethesda. If you're an Xbox customer, this is about delivering great exclusive games for you on platforms where Game Pass exists. He said,
I've already explained this at the start of the video, that was already superseded by the FTC decision where under oath, he said by a case-by-case basis, those games would be going out. He had to make that declaration under oath, which Jacqueline accepted, and that was the only way that she could push forward with the ABK trial. All right, so actually while editing, I actually came across the clip. This is courtesy of, Jamie Moran. So thank you very much for actually putting this clip out there. So just listen to the actual full context of this clip, because what people are constantly saying about what I want Xbox gamers to know that exclusives are going to be where Game Pass exists, there's actually context before this. So I want people to listen to this and then I'll quickly break it down. And then, the rest of the video will continue. But just listen to this just for a second.
So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players. We love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have either contractual things or legacy on different platforms that we'll go do.
So, not every Bethesda game is going to be exclusive. There's going to be legacy titles, legacy work, things that they need to do that will impact those games being exclusive to Xbox. So, legacy titles include games like Doom and will, include a lot of ZeniMax Bethesda games. But what it won't include is games like Starfield. Now, obviously, Hi-Fi Rush here is the enigma because that is not a legacy title, but that is one of the ones they decided to port over, which is weird. It shouldn't have happened. It goes against what he's saying. But let's continue. So I'm going to call out when I need to call out.
But if we're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is this is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Delivering exclusive games for you. Not every single game will be exclusive, but we will be delivering exclusive games. He never said at any point that we'll be delivering every exclusive game, because at the start of this clip, he said, I can't say that every ZeniMax game will be exclusive because they won't be. Listen to it again, right here.
So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive.
Right, there you go. I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because it can't. There are contractual obligations, there are legacy titles, and there are games that just were multi-platform anyway. So this is the part of the context that's always missing and people are constantly going on. Now, let's continue from where we left off.
That's our goal. That's why Game Pass exists. And that's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building. So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive.
And that is the key point here, right? The context is always missing. These fanboys love to attach themselves with a part of the conversation that benefits them, that suits their narrative, that suits their agenda, And it's clearly misleading. It's clearly just being twisted and manipulated to make it look like what he said was not true. And it's sad and pathetic. Now, like I said, Hi-Fi Rush is the enigma here because that is a new IP and that should have remained exclusive. But I'm guessing because of the poor performance, even through Game Pass, and the failed delivery of Tokyo Wire, and the poor performance of Evil Within, they decided that that was going to be one of the games. I mean, they knew from probably back then that Tango Works was going to be pretty much going. That's my assumption at this point. And so they used Hi-Fi Rush as a kind of guinea pig to port over to another platform to appease the FTC, to appease the regulators, to appease the courts, to show them that we are porting games to other platforms. Now, was that dirty and scummy of Microsoft? If it is, as I'm saying, pretty much. But, who knows what they were actually thinking. But I actually genuinely at this point believe that they had decided from quite some time ago that this is, that these studios were going to go. This wasn't a knee-jerk reaction. This wasn't something that just turned up out of the blue. Usually when you're shutting down studios, it's almost like a 6 months to a year progress. And those games were decided to be ported over, towards, the middle of 2023. And yeah, I think that's what it is. But as you can see here, when you add the full context of that clip, it really changes the dynamic, doesn't it? Anyway, on with the video.
Said that statement March 11th, 2021. And now you got people going at him saying, dude, you went PS, that's fine. Why can't you game on both? It's beyond me, but I won't go into that. Why are you still badgering on about Phil? You need to move on from this, man. Why are you protecting a complete lie, right? The thing about it is, Tim Dog.
Where is the lie? Where is the lie? I mean, what is it that I actually said here that was wrong? I said, you went over to PlayStation? That's fine. I don't care. Why you can't game on both consoles? I game on both consoles. I play on my PS5, I play on my Xbox, I play on my Switch, I play on my PC. Hell, after this, I'm going to sit down and play Stellar Blade. Tomorrow, I'm going to sit down and play an Xbox game. Whatever. It don't matter. I play all the games. So when I said, why can't you game on both, is beyond me. And I've already seen tweets where Tim Dog saying he's not going to PC because he doesn't like PC gaming. So it's like, why would you limit yourself to one platform if you have the capability and the finances to do both? I can understand if you don't. And I said, why are you still badgering on about Phil? Clearly, he is still butthurt about Phil, and my dude needs to move on. I don't think I said anything wrong here. But let's see what he has to say about this, because I think everything I said there was what a reasonable, sensible, logical person would say.
Was out there, right? When he, obviously he championed Xbox, whatever, and people called him a fanboy, blah, 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 but he didn't care. Because to him, all he cared about one thing was Xbox delivering what they said they were going to do. Delivering exclusives, whatever. Sure.
Nah, we all know that he was going above and beyond. Same with Peter Ovo. They were going above and beyond. Above and beyond. There was nothing there. Above and beyond. We all know that.
Wait for E3, wait for E3, wait for E3, wait for E3.
You know what? I was actually one of those people that said, I'm tired. And even now, I keep saying, I am tired of waiting. And I have people from the Xbox community that turn around and tell me, oh, just wait for this. And I said, look, I'm tired of waiting. I want to see results. Oh, but games take forever. It takes forever for every other platform to make games as well. But at the same time, they're delivering. So Xbox needs to start delivering too. It's really that simple. 5, 6, 7 months without a first-party game is crazy. Obviously, now PlayStation has, almost a year without a first-party game. They're hitting that lull. But considering Xbox has, 30, 40 studios, maybe more? I'm not sure of the number offhand. I expect better from them. I expect more. And Phil has been saying that, the cadence is one exclusive a quarter, and that's been failing pretty much time and time again. So hopefully now that, we know that the games coming this year are in plentiful from the first party lineup, hopefully that will now continue for the next 3-4 years down the line. But let's see how that goes. But he does have a point there with the whole wait for next year, wait for next year. The Xbox One era was probably the worst period for Xbox gamers, where they pretty much got shafted quite hard, as an Xbox gamer myself. So I could totally get that. I'll give him that one. That wait for E3 next year, wait for it next year. Yeah. Xbox gamers shouldn't need to wait anymore. They just need results now.
E3, wait. But one day Xbox was going to deliver on their promise. Once Microsoft backed out and started going multi-platform, Tim got fed up. He felt that was bullshit. Him being called a fanboy, corporate concubine, corporate cock, that did not matter to him. All he cared about was Xbox delivering what they said they were going to do, and they said it. But they backtracked on everything, and that's what pissed them off. Why are there...
What did they exactly backtrack on? See, I don't get it. People keep saying that Phil lied, Phil backtracked. Now, the only lie that I can see here is the one game a quarter. That one he lied about, right? Because he's failed to deliver on that. I get it. That one is fair. That statement there, if you're an Xbox customer, this is about delivering great exclusives for you on platforms where Game Pass exists. Let's be realistic now, right? Let's be hands on the table, right? If Tim Dog actually cared about that, he would have been having a fit like he is right now when the games went to Steam, because Game Pass is not on Steam. But clearly he didn't give a shit about that. So it's got nothing to do with this. He's just butthurt because the games went to PlayStation. That's it. Because PC is not Game Pass. Game Pass app on PC is Game Pass. The fact that they go to Steam means that this statement was already broken the moment a game hit PC day one. The moment they hit Steam day one, this statement was already broken. It was dead. It was done. It was capiche. It was finished. But he didn't care. So that, to me, just shows the hypocrisy of everything he's been doing and saying and reacting to. But, again, for someone who followed the FTC trial so closely, he's acting awfully ignorant, deliberately. And this is the part that I don't get about Tim. He's wording things, twisting things. The guy's smart. But he's manipulating everything to make himself look like a victim, when in actual fact, he knew exactly what was happening. He knew exactly what was going to happen. And he knew exactly, well, maybe not the exact games that were going, but he knew that a set of games would be going and Microsoft would be porting games over to PlayStation. Hell, they had that diagram saying that these games would appear on other platforms. These games on this side that are niche would appear on other platforms. But these single-player experiences in the middle would not be appearing on other platforms. Now, if Starfield goes to PlayStation, that would be another lie from Phil Spencer, right? That would be another lie from Phil Spencer, because that was clearly placed in the middle column as an exclusive IP to Xbox. But until that goes, Phil Spencer hasn't lied. Now, I know Phil Spencer has hurt people's feelings, maybe because he did something to their family. I don't know at this point, because the way people have reacted on social media has been out of this world. It's been mind-blowing. But the reality is, Puertorock here is chatting a whole bunch of shit. He's factually 100% wrong. Tim Dog here, he 100% knows that he is lying out of his teeth with this statement, and he is trying to paint himself as a victim just so he can get those clicks, the up views, the views, and everything else. And now he's going to turn around and say, oh, it's not like I need those $8, $10, $1,500 from thing. Clearly you do, because you're crying like a little baby at the moment and making posts like these, when you fully well know for a fact that this is incorrect and this was superseded within the FTC trial. It was 100% superseded within the trial that you followed with 100% accuracy. So you cannot turn around and tell me that somehow you are suffering select amnesia and that kind of went out of your memory. You can't tell me that that is what is happening, right? You just can't do it, right? This whole select amnesia bullshit defense that people use is rubbish. Maybe what they need is a swift kickbox to the head to make that amnesia actually turn around and actually go back away and bring them back their actual memories.
People mad at Tim Dog because what's crazy was when Tim Dog was pushing those messages, because at the time he believed they were going to do it, all these people were following him. They were all following him. Let's see what's the question right here. Tim Dog, will tweet whatever I want to tweet about. This is especially noteworthy because you were bragging about how Doom will be exclusive. Let's be reality. You have egg all over your face and now you're pretending you're okay with no exclusives. It's facts. Right?
There is no fact.
Did he brag about did Chaos Primes brag about exclusives?
No.
I don't know. Should we find out?
Go for it.
Should we find out? Should we pull the let's see. Let me do this. At Chaos.
Go for it.
Prime Z. Let's do this. I'm gonna show you how to do receipts. From you put the little colon there. We're gonna type Xbox and exclusive. Those are the keywords. Those are key search terms.
We're talking about Doom here, right?
Okay, let's put up latest so we could go. So let's see. Let's go back in time. Let's see what he talks about. How far? We'll go back 2023. Let's see what we got here. He says, I mean, the media saying it's inconceivable. No way Blade is going to be exclusive for Xbox. Yet Wolverine, not a word of notion. You worked that out. Okay. Talking about Blade. Let's see. So he's defending Blade, saying it's going to be exclusives. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back to 2021. Because
Jesus Christ, 2021.
Bethesda will purchase. What did he say in 2021? Let's see.
I don't even remember. This is interesting.
Receipts, guys. I'm showing you the secret receipts. Okay. 2021.
Okay.
Let's see. Xbox says Starfield exclusive. Now I see people twisting Todd Howard's response and copying parts. Make no sense. This desperate. There will be cloud-based options. All right. Okay. I think Xbox needs to stop worrying about acquiring and more about releasing games. They still have no exclusive first-party games released. As an Xbox Series X owner, I'm really disappointed. I'm having to wait over a year for first-party exclusive game. Games coming 22, 25 don't count. Oh, so you do like exclusives on your console.
I do like it. I've never said I haven't.
Okay, so you do want exclusives. Okay, so far you like the idea of getting exclusives on your console.
Let me just make this perfectly clear. I have always said exclusives are good. Exclusives are what drive a console and drive sales. I've never said the contrary. People may say that I did, but I haven't. Exclusives are what drives a console forward because, let's be realistic here, if a game is exclusive, not only does it have a better chance of actually being a better game and it utilizes the hardware to its maximum potential, but at the same time, it comes out faster and it basically should be an overall better game. We've seen this time and time again.
Let's see, what else we got here? Why does it matter? They are exclusive to the ecosystem they have in place. We'll only have it on Xbox, make you enjoy the game more. I don't even understand why you're even upset over the outside of the dead old console wars. I play games on my Xbox, but now I have... Let's see, what you're talking about here. But now
I don't know what I'm
talking freedom to play how and where I want it, be on my PC, xCloud, or console. This is good for consumers. Okay, so you like Microsoft's strategy of console, PC, and cloud.
Yes, I do.
Let's see.
But I still believe that exclusives are good.
The console exclusive. Phil Spencer and the whole of Xbox says it's exclusive, as is Elder Scrolls 6, etc. Like I said, PC market is omitted now. When someone says God of War Ragnarok is exclusive, it simply means it's not on Xbox or Nintendo. True meaning no longer applies. Oh, so you are about the console exclusives, huh? They already said it's Xbox exclusive. What makes you think they would publicly lie about that? Yeah, so you out here champion exclusives.
Yeah.
Security has always been dictated by who has the exclusive content. Okay. So this is rights about Xbox.
He's basically... I want to see what he's going to find, because apparently he finds something.
Exclusive to PC, Xbox. 38% said yes. 61.9% said no. Most likely people who don't give a shit about Xbox. Ooh, what's this? COD will have exclusive content on Xbox going 2024 and drag all players to it. Really? So you are about the exclusive life, bro. Don't hide. Oh,
I am.
Let's see. You are about that. Hell, you even wanted exclusives on like exclusive content from COD.
Of course.
Let's see. Nope, you were arguing that Xbox needs that PlayStation money. You as well as I know they don't need them. Making it exclusive will push so many to Game Pass, and that's the goal. However, like you and many others, I hope it remains multiplayer. It does nothing good for industry. So you didn't think Microsoft needed PlayStation.
I don't.
But
And they
Xbox
still
has
don't.
exclusive content. Again, it's a cycle, dude.
I mean, let's be realistic. Why does a $3 trillion company need anyone? I mean, let's be realistic, right? Microsoft as a brand is a drop in the pond when it comes to the overall strategy that is Microsoft. The market cap alone tells you that. Obviously with the acquisition of ABK, that has changed a few things, and with ABK, more eyes are now on Xbox than ever because of the $70 billion. But let's be realistic. I want exclusives on Xbox because exclusives matter. And I've said time and time again, and I'm hoping Puertorock sees this and does react to it eventually, but although I think this video is going to be way too long for him to react to. First party games exclusive, I've said time and time again, just aren't the way anymore because they appear day one on Xbox. I mean, on PC, you want third party exclusives. That is what's going to drive people to your console. You need true exclusives that are only on your platform, even if it's timed by 2 years, 3 years. Those are the exclusives that will bring people over to your console. It's really that simple.
And we'll continue. This isn't to say people will sell a PS5. That's just stupid. Anyone suggesting that needs a reality check. But with 25 minutes subscription already, games actually door now Wolsey. Oh, are you thinking Call of Duty's gonna do something?
It will do something come October.
Let's see. Oh, interesting. So you were one of those exclusives.
Yes,
you were one of those exclusive dudes. Let's not lie.
I'm not lying. When did I say I don't like exclusives? Where did I say I don't like exclusives? My dude is really looking into stuff. Like he is trying.
Let's see what else you got here.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Hold on. All games that are already on the platform will stay. All games within the next 2 or 3 years, as stated, will stay. After that, there's no promise of future games. We have been saying this day one, but people refuse to accept it. The original deal with Jim Ryan was 5 years, everything. Then that deal went to 3. I think the original deal was 3 years. Then it went to 5 years, and then it went to 10 years. And that was the final deal that got signed off. At the time of this was before the FTC trial was done and before the contract was signed. This was accurate as of the time of this posting. The fact is, after that, things changed. The contract changed and it went to 10 years. So this will now reflect to 10 years. But after 10 years and after 15 years with the Ubisoft deal, a lot of things are going to change.
Now
this video
you got here. Oh, don't get me wrong. I think it's in Mehmet's best interest to go exclusive. Will drive consumers to Xbox. For your statement alone, will bring droves of people to Xbox. That's what Jim is scared of. As for PlayStation fanboys, it will be okay when they acquire things. No, so let me see. Hold on. What are you going? Oh shit, that messed up. Man, this guy was really pushing for Call of Duty to have some type of exclusivity.
Damn straight I was.
So I think it's safe to say, Chaos.
Yep.
You want Tim to shut up, but the reason why Tim is upset is because, like you, he was about the exclusive.
Okay, that I can agree.
Was the thing.
You know what?
Right?
You know what?
Now,
do you know what? That I can agree with. If Tim had just turned around and said what that I'm upset because of exclusives outside of the 4 games that went, which we knew were going to go, a number of games were going to go. I get that. Totally do. And I totally see the betrayal there. But at the moment, outside of the 4 games, nothing has been promised. Nothing has gone over. I'm not delusional in thinking others aren't going. And we already know from the FTC trial that those games on the left spectrum and the right spectrum are fair game. But it's the middle spectrum that aren't. Now, if Starfield, Gears, Halo, Forza, Fable go multi-platform, then I will change my tune. But until that central column, which is what Microsoft promised, which everyone bought into, including the likes of Tim and the likes of Peter and the likes of everyone else, until that is challenged, I'm okay. But, like Blade, I expect to be exclusive to Xbox. If that goes multi-platform, I'll have a problem with it. So I agree with that.
Now you and him, you're not getting what y'all wanted. But you are okay with the complete change around play. And then the people who aren't, you don't want them to voice their, how would you say, discontent.
No, I don't care about them not voicing their discontent. I'm just saying that the way they're going about it is wrong. My dude had a complete breakdown because he wasn't allowed into the boardroom. That's completely different to having, upset. And I've said in like my literal last video that I put this in, I said it's good to have that conversation. It's good to get that point out there. Just because you might not have a platform, it's still good to tweet it out. It's still good to air your discontent. But to have the meltdown that he did and Peter did, that's crazy. At that point, people don't listen to you. People don't follow you. People block you and mute you so they don't have to listen to it. There's a fine line between having discontent and getting your point across and being completely annoying and just a pain in the ass to the point where you're disregarded entirely. And right now, which company out there, he apparently had a good relationship with Microsoft. Who out there is going to want to have a good relationship with Tim after the meltdown that he had with Microsoft? You think Sony is ever going to want that relationship with him if there ever was an opportunity? Hell no. My dude went and literally burned every bridge under the sun that he could do professionally. No one's going to want him there. Anyone. You just don't do it. The industry's small. It's not a big circle. You don't do it. But like Tim, I want exclusives, and I want true exclusives on Xbox. Not half-assed exclusives. I want true exclusives. But I'm also not delusional enough to understand that first-party exclusives, if we're not omitting PC, don't exist because they're on PC. But third-party exclusives you can have, right? Now, if we're talking about like a new Silent Hill, a new Persona, or, Parasite Eve, Dino Crisis, big games like these. Final Fantasy, it only playable on Xbox for 2 years before it goes to PC, and then 6 months after PC goes to PlayStation. Or have some of them permanently exclusive. These will sell your console. Have exclusive content for Madden, for FIFA. These will sell your console. These third-party games are the only approach that Microsoft can actually make. And GTA 6 is going to be huge. Whoever can get the marketing rights or even a little bit of extra content for GTA 6 is going to win. So you get an extra mission on Xbox or an extra 2 missions for Xbox, people will go and buy the Xbox version for those extra 2 missions. They did it for Hogwarts Legacy.
This is just, this just proves my point,
So there's no receipts there.
Let's talk about one more other thing. Let's talk about this. So
like I said,
more talk about...
And I just want to add, where Tim Dog turned around and said that I was championing Doom, my dude was 100% lying. I don't like lies, and that's why I've changed my tune a little bit towards Tim, because he actually openly, publicly lied about me, saying that I said something I didn't say, and I do not appreciate that. I do not appreciate that. If he comes out and apologizes, I will apologize for the things I've said to him. My stuff was way out of turn as well, But the fact that he came out and publicly tried to discredit me, my name, by calling me a liar, I don't appreciate that.
The next Xbox Next will be a reference design for manufacturers to make their own devices, right? And I said that pretty much pre-built PC with the name Xbox slapped on the box.
I agree.
Let other hardware manufacturers deal with hardware while MS focus on software.
I agree.
Now, it's kind of like the Surface tablets thing and stuff, whatever,
Yep.
right? Here's the thing. This ain't really a console gamer's box. This is not a console gamer's box.
Nope.
They're gonna try to make it look like it,
Yep.
shape like it.
Yep.
Maybe, do something to the UI.
Yep.
But this will be a PC. It's a Windows PC.
Yep.
It's kind of like, on a Surface tablet, you got tablet mode. So they try to make it seem like it's an actual tablet, but it's still Windows. And the thing with this one is it's going to be expensive.
Yep.
Because these hardware manufacturers, they're not going to sell it at a loss. They're going to make profit off of each hardware box because that's really all the thing is.
My dude is speaking sense.
It's just a hardware device that they sell to you for profit. So these consoles are going to be very expensive. They're not going to have the same specs. They're going to be variable specs. And the reason why they have variable specs because it's a PC.
Yep.
It's literally a PC.
And this is why in my last video, I said you buy an Xbox console for 500 quid and then Asus release another one that's 25% more powerful for 50 quid. You're going to be pissed, especially if it's not modular for you to upgrade. You are going to be pissed that you didn't spend the extra 50 bucks to get 25% more horsepower. And then the next person standing next to you has a way more powerful Xbox console than you because they spent an extra 50 bucks that you didn't have available to you 2 weeks ago. I know this is a hypothetical, but that is basically what's going to happen. And that is rubbish. It's not going to work.
Now, the crazy part is this. Will these products be upgradable? Meaning you can switch out a GPU or whatever.
Modular.
And I don't think so. I think they're just going to lock it down, lock the box, and ship it. So you guys will be buying a pre-built PC without the actual benefits of owning an actual PC.
And what did I say in one of my previous videos? At that point, just go build a PC.
You won't be able to upgrade it most likely and stuff like that. And it's going to be expensive as hell. I think this is just Microsoft's slick way of trying to wean themselves out of the hardware business by, something like this. Let me show you what I mean.
Also, this is all rumors and conjecture, by the way. It was on a Discord post and nothing has actually officially been announced. I know a lot of the Xbox creators are jumping on this as an amazing and wonderful thing. And they've apparently heard their sources saying it and all this magically after this Discord tweet came out, which was apparently made 5 months ago, mind you. But yeah, nothing has actually been confirmed. Nothing has been revealed. It's all rumorville. Let's just keep that clear. But I agree with Puertorock here. I do agree with him because I said exactly the same thing. This is not the way. This isn't how you do it.
Because this was done before.
He's using the 3DO.
As you
exactly.
can see here.
Yep. The 3DO did it.
Already. So it's not a new concept.
Nope, it's not.
These are all the various versions of 3DO. 3DO was originally
in fact, the GameCube did it as well.
Idea, but then they allowed other people to just create all these other versions of 3DO from other stuff.
Because the GameCube, I think, had a Panasonic version as well, but they did it as well.
Stuff like that. As you can see. So.
And it didn't work very well for the 3DO.
And stuff like that. It just
not a
doesn't
new
work,
concept.
right?
It just doesn't work.
The main strength of consoles is optimization.
Bingo! And that's what I said. I love exclusives because it gives you the optimization.
Price, affordability, optimization, and then, of course, exclusives. Exclusives always been a big part of console gaming. Those are the factors. You get a console that can be focused on. You get a console that can be optimized. A console that could come out at a good price. And, especially at launch, it gets subsidized. They sell it at a loss. And then in the beginning, software sales and all that other stuff will subsidize the price. Then over time, as they remanufacture it, comes out with different models, it will get cheaper. And then they start selling for profit.
What he's actually referring to there is called the attach rate. So when you buy a console, you usually buy it at a loss to the manufacturer. But if you pick up like 1 or 2 games with it, the attach rate is what actually makes the console profitable. Now, in the past, you only needed to buy 1 game, and that would make the console profitable because the console was barely just losing out money. In today's day and age, you probably need to get like 2-3 games before they actually start to make a profit. If you just buy the console on its own, they are losing a lot of money. And when the Xbox console was reduced down to 350, they were losing a lot of money.
PlayStation's the masters of that. Nintendo's the masters of that, right?
Nintendo's the masters of that.
But this is just going to be a slew of Xbox pre-built PCs with Xbox tacked on, with the name Xbox on it, but it's actually a PC, which is probably why there's talks of Steam being on it, because it's literally a PC. It's literally a PC. That's all it is. So you'll be able to run Steam on it. Now, here's an interesting point. Let me show you. This blah 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 0632 whatever. This just shows the ignorance of the community. Fun fact. Being a pre-built PC, maybe with a mobile Windows interface, it could run all PS games, effectively killing all exclusives. All right. Okay. And I put not a fact. That's why I wrote maybe. I don't see it being impossible, as Sony can't do nothing about it if the next Xbox is something like a Rogue Ally but non-portable. Probably something like 34% chance this happens though. Actually, there is something Sony can do about it. Okay. All right, I'll use Netflix as an example. Netflix is Netflix, right? But have you noticed that in some regions, some content on Netflix is not available in other regions?
Yeah, and so what you do is use a VPN to gain access to it. Now, on Windows, all they need to do is run a simple script to tell Steam that it wants it enabled, and it will become enabled. It really is that simple. Because what Sony is going to do is say, right, if you see the Xbox API going through, we want these games disabled. But you can actually circumvent that because it's on Windows. You can bypass that with ease. GeForce Now, for example, when I was trying to play Genshin Impact, it's actually disabled. At the time, GeForce Now wasn't allowing you to play Genshin Impact. However, I got a version of Firefox, and I went back maybe about 10 versions, which wasn't whitelisted or blacklisted, I should say. And that actually showed me all the games. And then if I went back further, I could actually see some of the PlayStation games. So it really isn't that hard to circumvent. And once you're running an x86 Windows operating system on there, it's free game, buddy. It is free game. It is free game. There is almost, I mean, obviously for those that are just using it out the box, they won't be able to. But anyone that actually wants to do it, that doesn't mind spending 5 minutes just running a little script on their Xbox PC, they will have full access to everything. And there is nothing Sony can do to prevent that from happening. Nothing. They can try and combat it, but it's a fool's fantasy. It won't do them any good.
Why? Because you can actually block content. For example, we all have Netflix, right? But the people who have Netflix in England don't have the same Netflix as I have, even though it's still Netflix. It's run by the same corporation.
VPN.
They can block content from being viewed in certain regions. You know, it's all, servers and stuff like that. There's Steam on Mac. Steam is on Mac, yet Mac does not have all the games the PC version has, right? Sony can block and tell Steam, do not. Even a perfect example, Ghost of Tsushima. Steam is everywhere. Steam is everywhere, all around the world, right? Everybody has access to Steam, so many countries. Yet, there's a lot of countries that do not have access to Ghost of Tsushima.
And what do those people do? Pirated the game and are playing it on their PC. There's nothing stopping you once Xbox is running on a Windows operating system from running it on a pirated version. Does everyone forget that the Dreamcast existed running on Windows CE and how you could boot pirated games on disk without even needing to modify it by just adding a bootloader injected into the code? Man, people forget this so easily. It is so easy to get around this. Like, he's coping here hard. There is so many ways to go around this. He is coping super hard right now.
Because it's blocked. So any country that's not supported by PSN, you can't buy Steam locally to your country. You can block content.
And you can get around it
I'll write that later
so easily.
So just because you have Steam doesn't necessarily mean you'll have access to every game library.
You will.
Just like how Sony prevented Ghost of Tsushima being sold on certain Steam, PCs, simply because of the country you're in. Sony can do the same.
And the same people went and pirated the game, and Sony got no money, and they're playing Ghost of Tsushima right now.
Can say, hey, Any Steam application that is on an Xbox console, our games will not be available on that platform.
Until they spoof
thing.
the API for Steam to look at, and then it's done.
See, Xbox community has the most uninformed gamers.
Who's more uninformed? Xbox community, or the fact that I've literally just debunked everything he said within the last 5 minutes?
In the gaming community. That's just how it is. Now, let me bring up one more point about this new vision.
Okay.
It will destroy Xbox, and maybe Microsoft doesn't even care, and I'm going to explain why. Let's say Steam is available on this new Xbox. Let's call it Xbox Next as the code word.
Okay.
So
I think I know where he's going with this. I'm going to let him cook because I think I might just agree with him. But I'm going to let him cook.
Xbox Next is out. It's really a pre-built PC, and you can download and play games on Steam. You know, a huge titles, right? This will cause two things. Number one, most of the gamers will most likely start buying the third-party games on the Steam version, even the first-party games, if they're going to buy a game, right?
I agree. Most likely they will, because that way they can play it on their Xbox and their PC if they don't want to go for Game Pass. Or if you are Game Pass, then you're going to play for Game Pass anyway. It doesn't really matter. It amounts to the same thing.
Barring Game Pass. But let's say they're interested in buying a game, they'll most likely buy the Steam version, right? Because one, you don't really need internet to play the multiplayer and all that stuff, right? So they'll probably gravitate to the Steam version. Number two, developers will probably outright stop making the Xbox version. And they
100%. That's not even up for debate. If they have Steam on that platform, third-party developers are 100% going to stop developing.
Xbox version, which means it won't even be on Xbox Store. Now, you're probably asking, why would they not make the Xbox version, Puertorock?
There's no point.
Think about it. If Steam is on every Xbox console,
There's no point.
Why would you do double the work?
Exactly.
All you have to do is
No,
just
he's
use
right
the
here,
Steam
100%.
version, and that version will work on every PC and on every Xbox console.
And this is why I said what they'll end up doing is having two profiles. The Xbox console profile, the one that's going to basically run it, and then they'll have an Xbox handheld version as a profile within the different settings. And if you're playing it on the Xbox handheld, it will immediately default to the handheld profile. If you're playing it on your console, it will immediately default to your console, depending on how the revisions are going to work, if they even exist, because they probably might not. We don't know. It's all out there. And obviously, if you switch over to your PC, you'll have the low to ultra.
You don't have to make an Xbox version for it to work on an Xbox console.
Correct.
You just make the Steam version. It will be on Steam. And the Xbox gamer who wants to play the game, they're just going to have to go to the Steam store that's already on their console and play that version. There's no reason to make an Xbox version unless it's going to be on Game Pass. That's the only exception. If you plan to have the game on Game Pass, then you have to make an Xbox version.
But those are the first party games.
But other than that, by making the Steam version, it's already playable on the...
And even if you're going to Game Pass, you just need to make it so it's available on Game Pass PC. That's still going to be the same thing as Steam and just have the Xbox profile. That's it.
Console. You don't have to put in effort to port it to Xbox. The gamers can already play it on Xbox. So that's going to even hurt the console even more.
It will.
Because when you buy the game on Steam, Xbox is not going to make the money. Valve gets the 30% cut.
Yes. Is that how Americans say it? I mean, no disrespect. But is that how you guys say it? Valve. We call it Valve. Different words, different dialects. I know. It's just I've never heard an American say it before. And if he's not American, I do apologize.
Think about that. Right?
No, he's 100% right.
Of course, this
here.
conversation is not going to happen within the Xbox community because, again, they have the most uninformed gamers in gaming. So this topic is way above their pay grade. It's way above their brain matter.
I'm hoping he actually does watch this, and maybe
said.
that will give him.
They won't realize this until like 4 years
process
from now,
about me
when it's already
because
done
I'm not
and
like
happened.
most.
But right now, this is rocket time. We're talking quantum physics right now in this topic. But anyway, you let me know what you think. This is the only friend you.
Well, guys, that's it. That's the video. That's the reaction. I know this went on for an awfully long time, but at the end of the day, I think it was worth it. It covered a lot, and it was quite fun to go through. I think I discredited almost at least 80% of what he said. And like I said, Tim, if you made it this far, as long as I get an apology for you calling me an out liar, I will publicly apologize for the things I said. But at the end of the day, I don't appreciate people calling me a liar. It's really that simple. And do you know what, Puertorock? If you ever want to get into a lobby one time, if you do watch this, hit me up, man. I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you. Whether it's on your show or you can come onto my show, we can have that discussion because you made some good points, some uninformed points, but overall, it was a good video. Right. I hope you enjoyed the react, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.